You've probably looked at your grocery bill lately and wondered why a carton of eggs feels like a luxury purchase. It feels like the economy is broken, rigged, or just spiraling out of control. But here is the cold, hard truth. The economy isn't some mystical beast acting on random chaos. It is actually a simple machine acting on basic mechanics. Most people, including the suits in Washington, don't fully get it, which leads to a lot of unnecessary financial pain for us. Today, we are going to break down Ray Dalio's legendary economic template, but we are remixing it for the wild world of 2026. This isn't textbook theory. This is the practical playbook that explains why interest rates spiked and why housing is a nightmare. The economy might look like a complex mess of billions of decisions, but it really boils down to three main forces. You have productivity growth, the short-term debt cycle, and the big scary one, the long-term debt cycle. To understand where we are right now, we have to layer these three forces on top of each other. Let's start with the absolute bedrock of the entire system, the simplest part of the machine, the transaction. Every single time you tap your card for a coffee or Venmo a friend, you are driving the economic machine forward. An economy is simply the sum of all these billions of transactions happening over and over again every single day. A transaction is straightforward. A buyer exchanges money or credit with the seller for goods, services, or financial assets. Here is the secret sauce. Credit spends exactly like money, so the system doesn't really distinguish between cash and debt. If you add the total cash spent to the total credit spent, you get the total spending in the economy. That total spending number is what actually drives everything, not just how much cash is physically printing off the press. If you take that total spending and divide it by the total quantity of things sold, boom, you get the price. That is the building block of everything. And if you understand transactions, you understand the whole complicated economic machine. Markets are just collections of buyers and sellers making transactions for the same thing, like the wheat market or car market. Now, the biggest player in this game is the government, which consists of two very distinct and powerful personalities. First, you have the central government, the folks collecting your taxes and spending money on defense and social programs. Second, and more importantly for your wallet, is the central bank, which controls the flow of money and credit. They are the ones pulling the levers on interest rates and deciding when to fire up the digital money printer. You need to pay attention to credit because it is the most volatile and misunderstood part of this entire engine. Just like buyers and sellers go to the market, lenders and borrowers do the exact same dance with money itself. Lenders usually want to turn their money into more money, while borrowers want to buy things they can't afford yet. Whether it's buying a house, a new Tesla, or starting a business, credit allows people to pull their spending forward. Borrowers promise to pay back the principal plus interest. And when rates are low, borrowing becomes incredibly cheap and attractive. When rates are high, like we've seen recently, borrowing dries up because nobody wants to pay that premium. When a borrower promises to repay and a lender believes them, credit is created magically out of thin air. That sounds simple, but credit is tricky because the moment it is created, it immediately transforms into debt. Debt is an asset for the lender and a liability for the borrower until the transaction is finally settled. Here is why this matters. When you get credit, you can increase your spending, and spending drives the economy. Remember this rule. Your spending is always someone else's income, so when you spend more, someone else earns more. When someone's income rises, lenders become more willing to lend to them because they look like a safer bet. A credit-worthy borrower has two things: the ability to repay based on income and collateral to back it up. So, increased income leads to increased borrowing, which leads to increased spending, creating a self-reinforcing upward spiral. This momentum is what creates cycles, because we are borrowing from our future selves to enjoy consumption today. Productivity growth matters most in the long run, but credit is the king of the short-term economic swings. If we didn't have credit, the only way I could spend more is if I became more productive and earned more. In a credit-free world, the economy would grow in a straight, steady line based purely on how hard we work. But because we can borrow, we create cycles where we consume more than we produce, followed by periods of consuming less. Let's look at this through the eyes of a modern couple. Let's call them Joe and Sarah. Joe and Sarah are feeling good because the economy is expanding, incomes are up, and credit is flowing freely. They decide to buy a house because the bank says they are creditworthy and offers them a mortgage. By taking on debt, they can spend way more than they currently earn, and that spending becomes the seller's income. This kicks off the short-term debt cycle, which typically lasts about 5 to 8 years. As Joe, Sarah, and millions of others spend credit, demand for goods starts to outpace the production of goods. When you have too much money and credit chasing too few goods, prices inevitably start to rise. This is exactly what we call inflation, and we all felt the sting of it post-2020. The central bank hates high inflation because it destabilizes the system, so they eventually step in to hit the brakes. They raise interest rates, making it more expensive for Joe and Sarah to carry their credit card debt. Suddenly, the monthly payments on their variable rate loans go up, leaving them with less cash for other things. Because they spend less, the next person earns less, and the whole economic engine starts to slow down. When spending drops and the economy contracts, we enter a recession, and inflation usually starts to cool off. If the recession gets too painful, the central bank will eventually cut rates to get the party started again. It works like a machine. Easily available credit leads to expansion, and tight credit leads to recession. But here is the catch. Human nature ensures that each cycle ends with more debt than the one before it. People, politicians, and businesses always prefer to borrow and spend rather than make the hard choice to pay down debt. Over a long period, typically decades, these debts accumulate faster than incomes, creating the long-term debt cycle. Despite the rising debt mountain, lenders keep handing out cash because everything looks great in the rearview mirror. Everyone focuses on the recent past. Incomes are rising, stock portfolios are up, and house prices are skyrocketing. It's a boom, and people feel wealthy, so they borrow massive amounts to buy assets as investments. This is exactly how bubbles form. People are leveraging up to buy assets that they assume will always go up. Even with high debt, the rising value of Joe and Sarah's house makes them feel like financial geniuses. They can keep borrowing against their rising home equity, fueling the fire even further. But this dynamic obviously cannot continue forever, because math always catches up with the market eventually. Over decades, the debt burden, the ratio of debt to income, slowly creeps up until it becomes unmanageable. At some critical tipping point, debt repayments start growing faster than incomes, forcing a drastic cut in spending. Since one person's spending is another's income, incomes begin to fall across the board, making debt burdens even heavier. This reverses the entire cycle, and we reach the peak of the long-term debt cycle. This happened to the U.S. in 1929, Japan in 1989, and globally in 2008 when the housing bubble burst. Now the economy enters the most dangerous phase of all, deleveraging. In a deleveraging, incomes fall, asset prices tank, banks get squeezed, and the stock market crashes. Unlike a normal recession, the central bank can't just lower interest rates to save the day this time. In a recession, lowering rates stimulates borrowing, but in a deleveraging, rates are often already at zero. Even if rates are low, lenders stop lending because they realize the borrowers are underwater and can't repay. Borrowers like Joe and Sarah are now stuck with a house worth less than their mortgage debt. They stop spending to pay off debt. But that just causes incomes in the economy to drop faster. It is a vicious, self-reinforcing downward spiral that feels impossible to escape from. The economy becomes non-creditworthy, and the credit pipes that usually grease the engine completely dry up. So what do policymakers do when the debt is too high and the interest rate lever is broken? There are four standard ways to bring debt burdens down, and they have been used throughout history. Number one, austerity, where people, businesses, and governments cut spending to try and pay down debt. Number two, debt restructuring, where defaults happen and lenders agree to take less money than they are owed. Number three, wealth redistribution, moving money from the haves to the have-nots through taxes. And number four, the central bank prints new money, the most controversial but often most effective tool. Let's talk about austerity first, because it sounds like the responsible thing to do, right? Everyone tightens their belts, expecting debt to go down, but the math actually works against them. Because one man's spending is another man's income. Cutting spending causes incomes to fall faster than debts are repaid. The debt burden actually gets worse, not better, and the economic pain increases significantly. Companies cut costs, which means firing people, leading to higher unemployment and even less spending power. This leads to the next desperate step: debt reduction through defaults and restructuring. When banks realize loans won't be repaid, people panic and rush to withdraw their cash. This is a classic bank run, like we saw with Silicon Valley Bank or crypto exchanges a few years back. When people and businesses default on their debts, banks get squeezed, and the economy contracts into a depression. A depression is terrifying because people suddenly discover that much of what they thought was wealth doesn't actually exist. Let's go back to the bar tab analogy. If you promise to pay the bartender, but then default, that asset vanishes. The bartender thought he had money coming, but now he has nothing, and that wealth is wiped off the ledger. To avoid total collapse, lenders often agree to debt restructuring, meaning they get paid back less or over a longer time frame. They figure getting 50 cents on the dollar is better than getting zero, so they eat the loss. But here is the kicker. Even though debt is reduced, asset values and incomes fall even faster. This makes the debt burden actually look worse, because the denominator, your income and net worth, is shrinking rapidly. This whole process hits the central government hard, because lower incomes mean they collect way less in taxes. At the exact same time, the government has to spend way more money to support the growing army of unemployed people. This is why budget deficits explode during a crisis. The government is bleeding cash, while its income dries up. To fill this massive hole, governments have to either raise taxes or borrow money. But who do they ask? With the middle class broke and unemployment high, the money has to come from the people who still have it, the rich. This leads to the third way of deleveraging: wealth redistribution from the haves to the have-nots. Governments raise taxes on the wealthy, and naturally, this creates massive tension and resentment on both sides. The have-nots resent the wealthy for their excess, and the wealthy resent the government for taking their money. If this drags on, it can lead to social disorder, strikes, and extreme political populism, just like in the 1,930 seconds. We see echoes of this today with the intense polarization and the debates over taxing billionaires. But eventually, governments realize that austerity and taxing the rich aren't enough to stop the bleeding. Remember, most of what people think is money is actually credit, and when credit vanishes, people are desperate for cash. This brings us to the fourth and most powerful lever. The central bank fires up the printing press. Unlike the first three deflationary measures, printing money is inflationary and stimulates the system. The central bank creates new money out of thin air and uses it to buy financial assets and government bonds. We saw this happen on a massive scale in 2008, and even more aggressively during the 2020 pandemic response. By buying financial assets, The central bank drives up asset prices, which helps people who own stocks and bonds. But that doesn't really help Joe and Sarah on Main Street who might not have a big investment portfolio. This is where the dance between the central bank and the central government becomes absolutely critical. The central bank can print money, but it can only buy financial assets. It can't just mail checks to people. The central government can buy goods and send out stimulus checks, but it doesn't have the power to print money. So they team up. The central bank buys government bonds, essentially lending freshly printed money to the government. This allows the government to run huge deficits and pump cash directly into the economy through stimulus programs. This increases people's income and the government's debt, but crucially, it lowers the total debt burden of the economy. This is a high-stakes balancing act, and if policymakers get it wrong, they can trigger hyperinflation. Think of Germany in the 1920 seconds, or Zimbabwe, where they printed so much money it became worthless toilet paper. But if they get the mix right, they can achieve what Ray Dalio calls a beautiful deleveraging. A beautiful deleveraging isn't pretty in the sense that everything is perfect. It means the pain is managed correctly. In this scenario, debts decline relative to income, real growth stays positive, and inflation isn't a problem. It requires a perfect recipe. Some spending cuts, some debt reduction, some wealth transfer, and just enough money printing. People always ask, won't printing money automatically cause inflation and make my groceries more expensive? Not necessarily, if the new money is just replacing the credit that evaporated from the system. Remember, spending is what matters to prices, whether that spending comes from cash or credit. If credit collapses by $1 trillion and the central bank prints $1 trillion, total spending stays the same. The goal is to print enough money to get income growth rising faster than the interest rate on the debt. Let's say the interest rate on the national debt is 2%, but incomes are only growing at 1%. You are falling behind every single year, compounding your problems, so you need to print enough to jumpstart income growth. But policymakers often struggle because printing money is the easiest and most politically popular option. It's much easier to print money than to tell voters you are cutting their benefits or raising their taxes. If they abuse the printing press, we get the messy inflation we've seen recently where prices stick high. So, where does that leave us right now in the grand scheme of the economic machine? We push the limits of the short-term cycle with near-zero interest rates for a decade. Now, we are seeing the consequences as rates normalize and debt burdens start to bite. When incomes rise and borrowers look creditworthy again, lenders eventually start opening the taps. This leads to the reflation phase, and the long-term debt cycle begins to reset itself for the next generation. This whole process of deleveraging takes about a decade to fully wash out. Hence the term, the lost decade. It takes time for incomes to catch up, for bad debts to rot away, and for confidence to return. But you don't have to be a victim of the machine. You can use this roadmap to protect yourself. By overlaying the short-term cycle, the long-term cycle, and productivity, we can see exactly where we stand. Right now, we are navigating the tricky transition where growth is slowing but inflation is still a threat. Understanding this helps you realize that the current pain isn't permanent. It's a mechanical necessity. It also helps you spot the turning points before the rest of the herd, giving you a massive advantage. You can see why cash might be trash in a printing phase, or why it's king during a deflationary crash. You stop panicking at headlines and start looking at the mechanics. Are they printing? Are they tightening? This template removes the emotion from your financial decisions and replaces it with logic and historical perspective. So, what are the actionable takeaways for you, right here, right now, to survive this machine? Ray Dalio boils it down to 3 simple rules of thumb that have guided him for decades. If you ignore everything else in this video, memorize these 3 rules to keep your financial life intact. Rule number 1. Don't have debt rise faster than income. because the debt burden will eventually crush you. It sounds obvious, but in the age of buy now, pay later, it is easier than ever to violate this. If your debt payments are growing by 10% a year, but your salary only grows by 3%, you are doomed. You are mathematically guaranteeing a personal financial crisis somewhere down the road. Rule number 2, don't have income rise faster than productivity because you'll become uncompetitive. This one is a bit more abstract, but it applies to nations and businesses just as much as individuals. If you demand a massive raise without actually producing more value, you eventually price yourself out of a job. In a global economy, if your labor is too expensive relative to your output, the work moves elsewhere. Rule number 3, do all that you can to raise your productivity, because that is what matters most. In the long run, productivity, innovation, skills, hard work is the only driver of real wealth. Credit cycles push us up and down, but productivity is the line that trends upward over centuries. Focus on learning new skills, adopting new tech like AI, and becoming more efficient at what you do. That is the only variable you have 100% control over, regardless of what the central bank decides to do. These rules work for individuals, they work for companies, and they definitely work for policymakers. Yet, it is shocking how many people and governments ignore them to chase short-term gains. They juice the economy with cheap debt, ignore productivity, and then act surprised when the crash happens. But now, you are in on the secret. You have the blueprint to see through the noise. The economy isn't a mysterious force. It's a machine, and you are one of the operators. By understanding how the gears turn, you can stop reacting with fear and start acting with confidence. Whether we are in a boom, a bust, or a beautiful deleveraging, there is always a move to make. So next time you see a scary headline about interest rates or recession, just remember the machine. Ask yourself, is this the short-term cycle tightening? Is this the long-term debt burden resolving? Look at the transactions, watch the credit flow, and keep your eye on your own productivity. That is how you win the game while everyone else is just trying to figure out the rules. I hope this breakdown helps you navigate the choppy waters of the modern economy with a bit more swagger. It's helped billionaires avoid ruin, and it can definitely help you manage your mortgage and investments. Financial literacy isn't just about saving pennies. It's about understanding the engine that drives the world. Take this template, apply it to your life, and don't let the economic machine grind you down. You have the power to anticipate the turns, sidestep the potholes, and build lasting wealth. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep your productivity up and your debt burden down. See you in the next video, where we might just dive into how AI is changing that productivity line forever. But hold on, before you click away, we need to talk about how to actually survive these rules in 2026. Because let's be real, don't have debt rise faster than income is easier said than done when rent is skyrocketing. So, let's do a deep dive into the practical application of Dalio's machine for the average person right now. We are going to look at the Joe and Sarah scenario again, but this time, let's see how they survived the deleveraging. In the boom phase, Joe bought a truck for his business, and Sarah leased a luxury SUV. Now, the cycle has turned. Their home equity is down, and inflation is eating their paycheck. If they follow Rule 1 blindly, they might panic and sell everything at the bottom, which is a classic mistake. The nuanced application of Rule 1 is about times good debt times versus times bad debt times during a contraction. Bad debt is the credit card balance with 25% APR that bought a vacation you already forgot about. Good debt might be the low-interest mortgage fixed for 30 years that acts as a hedge against inflation. In a deleveraging, cash is king, but cash flow is emperor. You need liquidity to weather the storm. So for Joe, instead of aggressively paying down the cheap mortgage, he should be stockpiling cash to cover the lean months. This prevents him from defaulting, which is the event that actually destroys your financial life in this phase. Now let's look at Rule 2. Don't have income rise faster than productivity. In the corporate world of 2026, this is the trap of the overpaid but underworked employee. During the boom, companies hired everyone, gave massive bonuses, and didn't check if you were actually working. But when the machine shifts to austerity, those bloated jobs are the very first ones to get cut. If your salary is $150K, but your output is only worth $100K to the company, you are a walking target. The survival strategy here is to aggressively audit your own value proposition before your boss does. Ask yourself, if I left today, would the company lose money or save money? If the answer is save money, you are on the wrong side of the productivity curve. This brings us to the Holy Grail. Rule 3, raise your productivity. This is the only force that breaks the cycle of boom and bust for you personally. While the Federal Reserve plays games with interest rates, you should be playing the game of skill acquisition. In 2026, productivity looks different than it did in Dalio's time. It's about leverage, specifically AI and tech. A single person today can do the work of 10 people from 1,990 if they know how to use the tools. By increasing your output per hour, you make yourself immune to the macroeconomic weather. Let the short-term cycle crash. If you are the most productive person in the room, you will always have income. Now, let's widen the lens and look at asset classes through the machine perspective. Image, chart comparing cash, stocks, and gold during different cycle phases. During the expansion phase, cash is trash because inflation eats it, so you want equities and real estate. But during the deleveraging phase we discussed, cash suddenly becomes a powerful option to buy distressed assets. The mistake most people make is fighting the current phase with the previous phase's playbook. They keep buying the dip because it worked for 10 years, not realizing the machine has shifted gears. Dalio's template teaches us to identify the season we are in and dress accordingly. Are we in winter deleveraging? Then wear a coat. Hold cash, gold. Are we in spring? Then plant seeds, buy equities, real estate. Right now, with high deficits and sticky inflation, we are likely in a messy transition period. The government is trying to manage a beautiful deleveraging, but the risk of policy error is high. This means volatility is here to stay, and the smooth ride of the last decade is officially over. But here is the optimistic twist to end on. The machine is designed to self-correct. Every crash clears out the dead wood, the bad debts, and the inefficient businesses. It paves the way for the next wave of genuine, productivity-led innovation and growth. The lost decade eventually ends, and the sun rises on a new long-term cycle. Your job is simply to survive the night so you are still standing when the sun comes up. Don't let debt drown you, don't let your skills atrophy, and don't bet against human ingenuity. The economic machine is powerful, but it is ultimately driven by us, by our transactions and our work. So, go out there, make smart transactions, manage your credit, and keep pushing that productivity line up. That is how you beat the machine at its own game. Now, for real this time, if you found value in this deep dive, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm, which is a whole other type of machine we can talk about later. Stay safe, stay liquid, and I'll see you guys in the next one.